Hey guys, Mauro de Mello here, super mega excited because I have my dear friend Tony. He's a business funding broker. He's the guy that can give you the cash, okay? If you've been working in construction, cleaning, delivery, painting, this podcast is for you. My friend Tony here can help you. And a lot of my students, they want to grow. They want to start wholesale flipping contracts. They don't want to put their own money, obviously.
Definitely.
They don't have $10,000 to start, for example, my program to come and sit here with me, helping them to build everything. And what most people don't know is that some of them even qualify for business funding right now. If you're a realtor, for example, you can qualify. So that's why I brought someone that I really trust, someone that I know for many years, who works in the business lending, who's gonna be explaining today how you guys can qualify. I know it for many years, but who are you to my friend?
So my name is Tony Boat. I've been in the industry for about 12 years. Prior to being in the private sector, I was in banking for 9 years. I realized that there's a very good opportunity for business owners, especially small business owners. And so that's where I decided to start Mock Funding. We've been in business since 2018. Since then, we funded over 300 million all across the country. Wow. And so we love to do, and we love helping people in a scenario where they feel like they should be doing more and they kind of feel stuck. And so that's where we come in. We provide solutions for them to invest and grow their business.
Okay, bro, I have a few questions. A lot of my clients, my audience, work in cleaning, painting, and delivery. If they have already an LLC, how do they know, man, that they can qualify for a business loan?
You actually don't need to have an LLC per se. The main thing is that you have to have a tax ID. So as long as you have a business account and a tax ID, you are in business at least 6 months. So you have to have at least 6 months bank statements showing some kind of income, minimum of $15,000 in revenue or deposits every month. We can work with you. We can qualify you for financing. It's as simple as that.
So you're explaining that, but what specifically, for example, the requirements, documents, income, what people really need?
Credit is not a major requirement as long as you don't have an active bankruptcy.
Okay.
As far as documentation goes, most businesses, we just need 3 to 4 months bank statements showing that they're doing at least $15,000 in revenue a month or more. What they're going to qualify for will be based on that revenue. So if they're doing $15,000 a month, we can probably get them anywhere from 80 to 100% of that number. So anywhere between $10,000 and $15,000 is possible.
What if someone is making $10,000 a month, but they hide part of it just to not pay taxes? How that affects the ability for them to be qualified and get approved?
So that's actually a very good question. A lot of people actually think that if I don't show enough income in my bank account, therefore I would pay less taxes. And what they're really not thinking is that by saving a few dollars, you're losing out on thousands of dollars. Now, a business has to have some kind of a paper trail of the financial health of the business. We don't need your tax returns to look good, but we need at least to see that you have some kind of revenue and minimum $15,000. By investing that money wisely, you will make a lot more money than what you're going to save on your taxes.
Exactly. So showing your real income is a smart move.
Absolutely. You got to start treating your business like a career. Your business is the livelihood of your family. It's your future. If you treat it like a side hustle, you're losing out, right? Lenders need to see a paper trail because the lender's job is not only to finance your business, but it's also to limit the risk that they're taking. So the more revenue you show, the more stable your business appears and the better the opportunities that you can capitalize on.
What if someone have bad credits that will block them to be approved by you?
Even if you had a bankruptcy, let's say last year, and it was dismissed, we can work with you. Credit only allows us to provide you maybe with a longer term, or maybe your options are a little bit more flexible. Even if you have bad credit, as long as you have a strong business, you can qualify. The key thing is making sure that what you qualify for is something you can afford and something that you can invest and make a significant profit on. But no, credit is not important.
Okay.
Credit is just the only thing you show of your ability to repay financing. Most of these lenders, they're investors. They're not going to look at just credit because they understand your credit could be bad because you maybe had medical bills that are unpaid. Unfortunately, maybe you had a divorce. So there's a lot of reasons why credit can be affected. As long as none of these are related to financial fraud and your business is a good business, you'll get financed. Okay. It just depends on how much and over how long.
Okay. Do people need documents like tax return or complicated documents?
Actually, no. The most important thing that we care about is they have at least an active bank account for the last 6 months, and we need at least 4 months bank statements. The tax return is not a requirement unless you're looking for a lot of money, let's say over $150,000. And even when the tax returns are needed, we'll usually just go with your most recent tax year. If 2024 is your most recent tax year and you don't have 2024s, we'll probably take 2023. A lender doesn't care what you show as profit. They just want to see that the revenue, the top line that you did that year matches with what you're depositing in your account every month. For most clients, anyone looking for 10, 20, 30, 40,000, they'll just need driver's license, a business voided check, and their bank statements. It's that simple.
Imagine that someone like 9 months ago was, booming on their business. They were like, I don't want to use other people's money because I feel good, the money is coming in. But for the last 3 months, I'm struggling. And now I think I should use your loan. How am I gonna do it?
When you're a business and your business is doing well, you want to invest while it's doing well. Many people tend to be reactive rather than proactive. If they're in their slowest time of year possible, as long as their business is cyclical, meaning you do really well during the fall and winter months because of the holidays, right now you're not doing so great, you should have really applied for the financing during the fall and winter months because that's when your business is at its strongest. But let's say, for example, you're not doing so well right now. We'll take a look at a full year's worth of your bank statements and then we'll average them out. As long as you're not under the threshold too much, we can probably still help you out.
The person gets approved. How fast the money hits their bank account?
It really depends. It could be as fast as 24 hours, mostly based on how long the business has been established and how many options might be available. If your business is maybe a brand new business, if your credit maybe isn't so good, it could take us a bit longer to underwrite your business for approval. That's usually the thing that delays the process the most. But if you have an offer and you're willing to proceed, typically we can have you funded within 24 hours.
Now, imagine that they get a loan for the 10K. Do they pay taxes on the money?
Actually, a loan could help you because if you're using money that is not part of your business income, if let's say you're using other people's money, then you can invest their money and grow your business while also getting a tax benefit because you're taking money that you're paying interest on, and that interest is a tax deductible expense. So as a matter of fact, if you borrow money and you use it wisely, you could actually save money on your taxes.
That's true. There's any benefits when people use money borrowed from you, but to use instead of equipment, etc., they can use for educational purpose, like having my trainings?
100%. I always say invest money in yourself. You are the lifeblood of your business, right? You can always buy a piece of equipment. The piece of equipment will depreciate over time. Now, that piece of equipment maybe will solve one problem right now, but if you're really trying to grow as a professional, there is no better investment than investing in yourself and in your own self-growth. So I would say definitely a loan is a good use of that. You just have to trust in yourself and in your ability to make money and make sure you can afford it.
So coming again to that conversation that we're having about people that hide income so that they don't pay taxes, they are blocking opportunities to grow their business.
Nobody wants to pay taxes, but what they're not really thinking is that they're saving money, but they're really losing big in the long run, right? Because if you're not investing, you're not growing. Now, no one wants to owe money, no one wants to have debt, but you should think of as an investor, how can I leverage other people's money and really push and grow not only my business, but myself as well.
Most people, by talking with my clients, etc., they believe that loans are just for tools in vehicles. Why do you believe education is the best use of this money?
So I would say loans are there to solve a problem, right? You can solve one problem, like in this case, buying a piece of equipment that will depreciate, or you can solve a problem that can set you for life. Like in this case, if you're investing in education, particularly in real estate investing education, one flip can pay for the money that you borrowed and set you up for life, because not only have you made money and returned on your investment, but you've acquired something which is more valuable, and that's knowledge.
Oh.
Knowledge you can apply and now multiply that investment 10 times over for the rest of your life.
And what happens when people get fundings and they misuse that money?
It's a shame, right? I would tell you that you need to really have a strategy. When you're borrowing money, you don't just borrow money to have another bill or another expense. You have to be understanding of what it it is you're borrowing it for, how your money is going to multiply over time by investing it, and make sure you stick to the plan. You should absolutely never borrow money and then use it to cover a bill that you need to pay, or pay vendors, or consolidate other debt. This particular financing is a great tool for someone that's looking to really grow their business, but they have to be very, very efficient with how they invest the money and make sure they do it the right way.
How much time the person have to repay back the money?
So this particular program is unsecured. This means that there's no collateral, there's no personal guarantee, is that they're not putting their personal credit on the line. That's why we don't really care so much about credit per se. God forbid they have an issue and their business shuts down the day of tomorrow, they're not liable for the money. Now, that doesn't mean you can borrow, get money, and then run away, right? Obviously, that's fraud. Because it's unsecured, the lender is going to mitigate risk, right? So most of these deals, they're going to be anywhere from 6 months to 18 months. And what determines the amount of time they have to pay, it really is depending on their credit. So the stronger their business is, the longer they've been in business, or the better the credit, then they'll get longer term options. Here's the thing though. This is a relationship that they're establishing with a lender. So you'll have access to not just this loan, but if you are looking for like a line of credit relationship, you can get more money. The lender will always give you more money, usually when you're halfway through the first loan. In your particular case, your client's looking to invest in real estate education. They can borrow money to help buy that program and educate themselves. And then later on, they can refinance with the same lender and get money to buy maybe their first flip, or upgrade their program, say get like a more premium tier education. This is just a different stage of our relationship.
Is a relationship. So you really think that having access to this loan, to join my program of 5 days here at my office, you believe that is a good move?
Absolutely. I think if you're investing in yourself, specifically in this program, if you close one wholesale deal, not only are you set for life because of the education and now the skill you've acquired, but you've made more than enough money to pay back for the program and the cost of financing. So it's a great way to start.
Now we're going to touch a subject is related with red flags and of course, real results. What should people watch out when they're applying for a loan like the ones that you're offering?
A lot of people, if you're a business owner, you're probably borrowing money already. You probably have other loans in place. You're probably getting phone calls from brokers offering you all kinds of things. What I always tell my clients, watch out for these red flags. First of all, if they're asking for you to pay them an application fee, that's a red flag. No lender, no broker that asks you for money up front is really going to do anything to help you, right? Most of the time it's a scam. Another thing that I always say, when something sounds too good to be true, for example, get this $20,000 loan and in 30 days, I'm gonna get you a $500,000 loan or something like that. It's a very common sales tactic. Don't fall for it. No one can promise you an approval in the future, much less if you're looking at 20 and then 500,000, right? So understand what you're looking for. If you're dealing with a good, reputable broker, they're gonna have a consultation with you and they're gonna see, based on what's realistic, what you can qualify, but not only that, whether or not you can afford this and whether it's going to make you a profit.
Okay. Do you have real examples of people that use the funds that they got from you and completely change their business and obviously their lives?
Yes, actually, I was just talking to her this morning. She's a very, very good client of mine. We're now good friends. I started working with her in 2018. She has a event planning and party equipment rental company. She started being a very, very small company with a small warehouse. She was doing $25,000 in revenue a month. We've done over 20 loans for her. She's been one of our greatest clients. I helped her get financing to get into her mansion, which she just bought recently. And now her business is doing upwards of $200,000 a month. We can't take credit for all her success. She is incredible. She's a hustler and she's also very, very good at what she does. I always mention her in all my talks because that's a great success story and we love seeing that.
What do you have to say from deep inside of you to someone that really, really wants to start now, but obviously people are scared of loans and debt, but these people want more in their life? What do you have to say?
I would tell you this, most people are afraid to take a chance on themselves because they're afraid that they're gonna fail. My advice to them is if you do nothing, if you remain working the same job 9 to 5, you're doing nothing and that's the same as failing. Don't wait till it's too late. There's no greater investment than investing in yourself. If you're talking about your self-development, there's no time but now.
Exactly. Most of the Brazilian community, they come from a different country, cultures are different, and they have this mindset that if I show everything that I'm making, I'm gonna pay a lot of taxes. And we know that this keeps people on a small environment. But you think that they are doing the right thing by listening everybody that is doing exactly the same?
I can relate to this myself. I am first generation Cuban. I was born in Havana. I've been here since 2000. Everybody that's Latino or South American is here building the same dream. My advice is the money you're hiding is what's causing you to lose out on very valuable opportunities. Everybody's here living the American dream. That's what everybody wants. Credit was what built this nation.
Oh, so true, man.
If you use the money correctly, this nation was not built by buying cash. You look at the biggest companies, McDonald's, Walmart, the biggest banks, all of these companies run on credit. Even the United States runs on credit.
That's true.
So if you're looking at a much larger goal, being successful, you have to start thinking like an investor and use the opportunities that other companies provide by allowing you to invest their money.
To everybody that is watching this video, what's the next move, bro?
I would say message Mauro, let them know you're ready to go. We'll set you up, we'll have a consultation, and we'll see what we can work with. We'll try to help you out and make sure you get the financing that you need and hopefully get you started.
So if you're watching right now, you've been waiting for the perfect time, for the perfect moment, this is it, man. This is it. And if you have a corporation, LLC, basically a business, and if you are making $16,000 a month or more and you're ready to grow, don't miss this opportunity, man. Don't miss it, okay? This could be the difference between staying broke, stuck where you are right now, and finally flipping your first deal. So send me a message, I'm ready, and I will personally walk you through the next step.
Absolutely. Guys, don't wait till it's too late. Like I said, doing nothing is the same thing as failing. At the very least, you should see what your options are and make sure you capitalize while you still can.